Hi there. Well, today I've been invited to Tony Flint's fishery, Climax Woldview, somewhere between Lincoln and Grimsby, and I've stopped just before the turn into Claxby because the only thing I've been warned about this place is if you come from Lincoln, then you could take the wrong turning. And as you can see, there's a signpost for Claxby, which is very close to the fishery. It's actually a beautiful scenic route, but it's miles out your way. I'd end up down there because I'm half Norwegian and there's a Viking centre, but if you've got a TomTom, you can see that it's telling me to turn right at Claxby, where the Viking centre is. But if you've got an in-car sat-nav like this one here, it's actually telling you to carry on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore the TomTom, and I'd advise you do that. So ignore the first Claxby sign, where the Viking centre is, carry straight on, it's about a couple of miles down the road, then you'll see the brown signs for Woldview Fishery, and you're on the way. I'm going to say, so 2 miles after that first sign for Claxby that you must avoid, you'll see the brown signs for Woldview, and I'm going to turn right there. And it's very, very clearly signposted. If you're coming from the Grimsby way, it's not a problem because you're just pretty much straight into it. Now, I've never been to this place before, and as I say, Tony's a good mate of mine, and I've heard a lot about it. I've seen the images on the internet, obviously on their website, but it's only when you get to it you start realising kind of what a jewel in the crown this place is. And if you look to the left on the approach road, you've got this huge big hill, and it's like, well, we're in Lincoln, what's the big hill doing in the middle of Lincoln? It makes no sense. Well, I live in Stratford, and that's famous for the Cotswolds, and obviously this is where the fishery gets its name from, Woldview. And there's absolutely beautiful vista overlooking this fantastic, I don't know, I mean, just ancient piece of rolling landscape that, you know, you just wouldn't anticipate seeing in Lincoln. So that's a real bonus straight away. And as soon as you get that, there's a right-hand turn into the fishery. And again, another surprise, you know, you've got these lovely gates and this fantastic drive. Now, I've been to lots of commercials in the last 20 years, and commercials have really become popular. In fact, they're all over the country and spread out across Europe now. Just give you some rough idea where we are in the country. We're about 17 miles away from Lincoln, 12 miles away from Grimsby, and 20 miles away from Scunthorpe. So it's a really good catchment area. Plus you've got Skeggy and Cleethorpes and Mablethorpe on the east coast. So there's lots of potential for coming here, add it onto a holiday, or just getting away from the town where you live. But anyway, this is the place. Impressive looking sign too. Let's go down and look at the lodge. There's not many places where you get this kind of a reception in terms of your vehicle. There's a lot of them are still muddy puddles, but as you can see, just looking around you here, this is obviously had a lot of work put into it in terms of landscaping, and there's some sort of similarities, I suppose, between a golf course or a golf centre, but once you see the lakes, that's where the similarity ends. But I'm just driving down here on this, it's all pebbled, 5 mile an hour speed limit. It's got some speed bumps here, so just keep the speed down. It's got some passing lanes, so you're never going to get held up for long. And almost manicured lawns and picnic areas. Just a lot of care and thought gone into it. And so we're coming up to the lakes now on the left-hand side, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. But you know, altogether, you know, first impressions are that it's a bit special, and as I say, it doesn't do it any justice when you look on the internet. So I think you've really got to come and have a look at it, and so far so great, really. And we're just coming up to the car park now, and there's a fantastic lodge there. Don't mind that on the back of my garden. That wasn't too bad. So first impressions, fantastic, but before I get down to the actual fishing and the lakes themselves, I'm feeling a bit peckish, so I'm going to get one of the famous breakfasts. Well, like most anglers, it's good to get a hearty breakfast inside you before you go fishing, and this is no exception. Look at that, what's just been served up to me. 3 sauce, 2 rashers of bacon, tinned tomatoes, fried egg and beans, hash brown, toast, mug of tea. And I have to say that this is This is real top grub. All supplied locally by local butchers and farmers. You know, I like a good breakfast, and this is really top grub. Obviously, before you start fishing here, it's a good idea to pay attention to the rules. And I have to say that compared to most commercial fisheries, this is very relaxed in terms of the rules. Obviously, there's rules on here that you have to observe: barbless hooks, sizes, no floating baits, etc. But really study them carefully, because that's the last thing you want to do is get in Terry's way in terms of doing something. Nobody wants to get kicked off a lake, and certainly Woldview Fisheries staff don't want to be kicking you off. So please take notice of that. What I can add as a bit of latest information, there is hemp allowed now, so that's going to be scratched off in moderation. Obviously a tin here and a tin there, and of course you'll need an Environment Agency license. I shouldn't need to tell you that, but you need one to fish anywhere. Okay, these are the day ticket rules. That was the match rules, and you can see that the main difference here is that you won't be using keep nets. That's obviously because they want to rest the fish up after the matches. Similarly, just go through that very carefully. And again, just to point out that hemp seed in moderation will be allowed on day tickets as well. So there's your rules, and now we need to find out a little bit more about the lake. So I'm going to see the fishery manager, Terry, and he's going to tell me about all the lakes, where to fish, and the best methods to use. Well, I'm joined now by Terry Jackson, who's been involved with this project for 5 years or so now, man and boy. Aye. And planted a lot of these trees and done a lot of the early spade work, literally, on the fishery. So Terry, good to see you.
Nice to meet you again.
And you brought us down firstly to Ultimate Lake.
That's correct. Just
tell us a little bit about it, because obviously it looks a bit like a canal.
Well, this is the Ultimate, and mainly on this one, the fish across the far bank, yep, or down the middle on the top 2+1, and the target in this one is small carp, up to about a pound. It's full of skimmers. There's chub in here, well, just about every species in this lake, and there are some bigger carp if you want the bonus fish.
Yeah. And is it pole your main line of attack?
Yeah, main line of attack is pole, unless you draw from pegs 9, 10, 11 or 12, where it is a bit wider, and then they go for the feeder because they can't get to the far bank with the poles. No.
And how far is it roughly approximately across there?
About 12.5 metres, 13 metres.
So it's nice handle.
Yeah, yeah.
Because obviously, you know, when you get, this is normally an open kind of countryside here, apart from that big hill up there. But when you've got open countryside, you get a lot of wind, so you don't really want to be fishing much more than 13 metres. I certainly don't chuck a feeder out. But yeah. So it's a great mixed fishery. And what sort of weights would you look at when it's, you know, in good form, as in good form, time of year?
On this one, they catch 60, 70 pound winds matches on this one, because the fish aren't big carp.
Okay.
Like they're mainly small carp.
And they're decent pegs too, aren't they? There's quite a distance between them.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, the story behind that was, when we built the fishery, we didn't know how wide the pegs are. And I said to the chap, I said, well, I'm fishing the Fisheries trader tomorrow.
Yeah.
I said, so I paced the pegs on the trader. Didn't realise on the river they're a lot wider.
Sure.
And so that's how they ended up so wide.
Yeah. Well, it's ought to have been on the Trent, you'd have had 20 yards then. Yeah. But so how many pegs you got on the Ultimate?
On the Ultimate, there's 24 pegs.
24 pegs. 24. Okay. And this is really starting to take hold now. You can see the sort of fruits of your efforts, really, in terms of the trees and stuff. And I mean, another 5 years, it'll be big, and it's already getting a lot of character. And I have to say, you know, the original pictures I saw on the website look fairly bland and open, but they must have been taken in the first couple of years.
Yeah, they was taken the second year we opened.
Okay. Then. And so we're how many years down the track now?
What are we now? 5 years now. It's been open.
So it's a completely different picture, and again, you can see it's not a muddy puddle, is it?
No, a lot of the trees are maturing, and say another 4 or 5 years, there'll be more wind cover, and it'll be comfortable fishing then.
Okay. Now, Terry is always on site. And I just want to tell you that this fishery is open 7 days a week now. Previous owners used to open it, was it 3 days a week? 3 days a week,
yeah.
Okay, so don't worry about turning up. There's other things that you need to know. Is if you book a lake as a club or as a corporate, once your match is over, you can continue to fish that lake, can't you? So you've got the lake for the day. It's not a case of turfing you off when your times come. You can carry on fishing, which is a nice little bonus. There's 6 lakes on the whole site, isn't there, altogether? Yeah, 6. So where we're going to go to next? Let's have a look at another
Gold.
One. Okay.
Yeah, the Gold is next.
We'll see you down Gold. And you say you dug all this out by yourself?
No, we did. We had someone come in to dig them out.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit parky today, mate.
No,
But
it's getting that way.
You've brought us out to
This is
the biggest lake on the actual site, and it's a fairly sizable lake. But again, I just can't believe the distance between the pegs. So that goes back to what you were saying earlier, doesn't it?
yeah, trader.
The Simpsy trader. It's your fault.
But on this lake, there's 41 pegs, and there's a bridge that goes across to the island, and there's 9 pegs on the island as well.
Yeah.
And this one they'll catch on the pole, but mainly at the minute they're catching on the bomb, just a straight lead with chicken meatballs.
Really?
Yeah.
Chicken meatballs.
And the guy that did that is just actually fishing here today. Him over there, Graham Gorrod.
Yeah. Well, we'll perhaps go and sneak through his kit and find out what the SP is on the meatballs.
Yeah, and that's devastates the place. He does.
Okay.
You know.
Well, obviously, we're sort of the back end of the season now, and you see it's quite cool, and there's a very cold wind. And methods change on any fisheries, and commercials particularly. They can be very method orientated, not week by week, almost hour by hour, can't they?
That's correct.
Day by day.
Yeah.
And this method that you're talking about with Graham at the minute, that's probably good. It'll blow eventually, and then something else will come, and you've got the seasonality aspects like any other fishery. So in the middle of summer, you might find them coming up in the water, etc. But it's a really nice sized lake. Again, I keep going on about it, but the distance between the pegs, you won't find this on any normal commercial water. I mean, believe you me, I've seen some, and you get 2 pegs in here, they'll be 6 metres apart. So I think that's a real plus factor for the fishery. What's the sort of match weights here in the peak season?
In the peak season, you're looking at 100 plus.
Yeah.
But this time, we had a match Wednesday, 106 won it Wednesday. Yeah. But usually this time of year, it'll start dropping off. It'll be 60, 70 pound weights that'll be winning the matches.
Yeah. And the straight lead seems to be dominating at the moment.
Yeah.
There's fish jumping everywhere, incidentally. Yeah. Which peg are we on at the moment?
This is peg 20.
Okay. And if you were a betting man today, given that the wind's blowing towards us, and you could pick any peg, which you can do, which peg would you pick today?
Well, because the wind's this way, I'd pick peg 3 with the wind off my back.
Yeah.
Because that peg, if the wind blows in, I don't know why, but if the wind blows into peg 3, you struggle catching.
Right.
If the wind's over your back, you'll win the match off it.
Okay.
And that's another thing about this lake. If there's a match on it, I can't tell you what peg will win the match. It could be any peg on the lake. There's no one peg that wins, is an outright flyer.
Yeah. But if you do get a prevailing wind, like you say, and it's pushing away from 3, that's one that you don't.
Yeah, that's what I like that peg. Yeah.
And typically, like most commercial fisheries and any waters really that are open like this, when you get the wind on it in the summer, you're better off with it sort of coming towards you. And in the winter, in my experience, and I've done a bit of fishing, Terry, you want the wind over your back, so you're actually fishing the crease where the ripples start away from the flat water. But again, a fabulous looking lake. I mean, it's not summer now. We're getting towards the fall, and as you can see, it's dying back. But still, a very, very lovely landscape lake. And honestly, I mean, it's manicured, isn't it? You must spend some time doing this.
On a bit, cutting grass.
Cutting grass. So we're going to go to another one of the lakes now. We've got another 4 to do, which is the next one.
One's the Silver.
So we're going Silver next. We'll see you on Silver. Well, Terry's nipping over to Silver Lake. I've just popped down to see the local ace, Mr. Graham Gorrod, who's been tearing it up down here on various methods. But he's just going to talk us through a bit of a trick he's been doing and catching a few fish. It's not been ideal today because it's very cold conditions, but tell us all about it, Graham.
Right. All I'm doing is using meatball and 8mm pellets.
Right.
Ripping a piece of meatball off like that.
Yeah. Just roughing it up.
Yeah. Through there like that. I'll reel this in and I'll rebait it and just show you.
And this is for my benefit, obviously we won't put this on camera. What sort of meatballs are you using? Any particular brand?
Just the ones out of Lidl's, chicken
Lidl
tikka.
Chicken tikka.
Yeah, meatballs.
All right.
In tomato sauce.
Okay, carry on as you were.
Just a simple tore off piece like that, biggish piece.
Yeah. What size up you going on there?
Size 12.
Yeah, barbless obviously.
Yep. Piece of spaghetti.
Well, I mean meatballs and spaghetti, I should have known really, shouldn't I?
Like that.
Yeah.
And the hook real tight in the meat.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fantastic. And you've got it on a straight lead, little, what's
Yeah.
that, quarter ounce bomb, is it 3/8 of an ounce?
Yeah.
And they just stopped here onto a
Yeah.
swivel. So you can actually change the links quickly if you wanted to.
Yeah. That's it, simple enough.
Okay, and what's your best weight you've had on these?
I've had £135.
Yeah.
This Wednesday's match I had £106. I've had plenty of £100.
Yeah.
Just on 8mm pellets and a few tins of meatballs.
It's mainly carp. You've had a big hide today, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had an hide about £2.5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the hide like it as well.
Yeah. And what makes this place special for you? Is it local for you, or is it
Yeah,
just?
yeah. I come 3 or 4 times a week now. Yeah. I come in the week and at the weekend. Yeah. It's not far from me.
No.
It's only 10 minutes up the road.
You can do that when you won the lottery, so you can fish pretty much full time, unless you've got a job like mine. And what is it about the place that makes it so special for you?
Wow, good lads who come.
Yeah.
Facilities are here, nice, clean, cafe, everything. Yeah.
Nice view.
Yeah, beautiful view. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
I think that's one thing to be said about commercial fisheries, if you just put it all in one bundle, is that when I was a kid we used to fish club matches.
Yeah.
So we used to go on a big coach and we used to drive off to the fens.
That's right. Yeah.
We all did that. All of South Yorkshire, all sort of East Anglia, everywhere where the chimney pots were. And that's gone now for obvious reasons. But I think what this has brought back with the fact we've got a lot of lads together, you've got the crack, you have that sort of spirit of community again, and that's really nice. And it's safe.
It is,
and you feel comfortable, and you catch a cartload of fish. So
that's right.
Brilliant.
All the lakes, good fishing on all the lakes now.
Right.
So
well, listen, mate, I'm keeping you up. Thanks for your time.
Thank
nice
you very
to see
much.
you.
Yeah.
I've got to go and catch up with Terry.
Yeah.
So have a great day.
Yeah.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
mate.
Cheers.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
lads. Thank you.
Okay, Terry, talk us through this one then. We're on which lake now? Silver, is it?
Yeah, this is a silver lake, and he's caught a small tench, this chap.
Tinker.
But in this lake, there's a lot of F1s. There's loads of tench, golden tench, bream, roach, rudd, hide, chub. And there's some bigger carp in here. They go up to about £8. There's barbel, but they're only tiny at the minute.
Yeah.
Until they grow up.
So what's this peg then? It's obviously a flyer.
This is peg 28.
Yeah.
And on the corner pegs, I've got reed lilies in front.